or the man set her up in a way to make more for a certain time in their marriage or relationship. I have an uncle who sent his wife went to medical school, college and then medical for upwards of 8 years. He took care of the whole house as a cab driver, right? She became a doctor. All of a sudden, they start upgrading little by little. Within 3 years, they went from the same apartment complex with us to a big old ranch style house in North Carolina. And then all of a sudden, the money she's making, he's starting his little international shipping business. Now he's a millionaire international shipping tycoon. Okay, so this is how these things. Not once did she ever try to change the dynamic of their relationship or try to make him compromise on what was their marriage before she had that money. I think that is representative of a serious glitch we have in our society where, women tend to use money as a bargaining chip for, changing the dynamics of the relationship. I think it's kind of sad. What do y'all think?
I think if you're equally yoked, like you're saying, this vetting process for picking your mate is everything, right? And when you're equally yoked, it doesn't say equally financed at the moment. That's not a part of being equally yoked. It goes back to morals, values, ambition, goals, life goals, all those things, family, being aligned. So when as a woman, I feel like when you're marriage minded, that one pot is what matters the most. You're not thinking about, okay, you got to pay raise, okay, so I need to get, like, it's not a tit for tat. It's not a dance of who can make the most and who made the most this year versus the last 2 years, and you're doing all of this. You're not that. A marriage minded woman is not doing that. She's thinking about what is coming into that household, whether it's just her and her husband, or her, a husband and children, whether they're caretakers for elderly parents. You're thinking about what, as a unit, the two of you, what kind of powerhouse can you be for
Mm-hmm.
your extended family, for your household, and all of this. If I'm making more, you're making more. It just doesn't make sense, and women forget. It goes back to, I think, Kevin Samuels used to talk about it a lot. You want to make all of this money and you want to use it as a precursor to choose your husband, and then when you have kids you don't want to work. Like, it
But
was this
let me
dance
speak on
back
that
and
real quick.
forth.
So
Like, it was this dance
I
back and
agree
forth.
with Anissa says, I don't think any woman wants to be in the position of breadwoman. No, breadwinner. No, you don't. No, I don't think any woman actually wants to be. And because they don't want to be, I think women need to understand there are two things at play here. Um, Women have to change the way they think about dating, marriage, and relationships when you make a lot of money. And I think a large part of it is that you need to recognize who you are as a woman. You need people holding you to account to say you're a woman. Don't be out here choosing like a man chooses. Don't be using money as a thing to determine what kind of man you should have. You can always choose a man who's going to stay out and work, but there's one thing I want all ladies who make money to consider. You rarely okay, I've never actually seen a 60-something-year-old female lawyer trying a case in a courtroom because she don't want to practice law that long. Okay. So very few women outwork their men. What we start to see on the charts is that women significantly dwindle in work productivity like around the age of like 45. It's like, I got other things to do. I got, so they start to develop different interests. They start to become more interested in their children's lives, so on and so forth. So whatever you're making, understand that you're not going to be making that forever. And I forgot what someone told me, and this was actually statistically proven. He said the reason why men tend to go up with age is because we tend to work jobs of necessity. And with that necessity, you gain experience. Then it's a hierarchy where you now become the top of the totem pole. But women tend to work jobs of luxury. And I was like, oh, and what's the first thing to go when the economy goes? All the luxuries. So whatever she's doing, and I know if she's like a realtor, oh, you can forget it. She's not making that money. She's gonna make that money for a few 2-3 years, and then she's gonna have a a downslide. So that's why as women, there you got to play the game differently and really think about it that way.
Yeah, and I
Pause.
like to how you. Oh, sorry.
No, you
I
got it.
did like how you said, Casey, about the yoke. I think that's like the number one reason I hear women say, "Oh, we have to be evenly yoked," and on and on. And I'm like, they're actually trying to say they want a man not to make less of them, and they just keep saying that, and that's not what it's for. When we say we want to be evenly yoked, the real definition is to be on the same path as someone, being aligned in your vision of where your life is going, not, oh, I just want them to make sure they make enough money to support me. Somewhere, I will say, I don't know exactly where, somewhere probably like late 80s, somewhere around the 80s there, it seemed like there was this transition of women trying to find this security blanket. And that is where the finances took upon itself for us to try to get this security, to provide our own security, so we didn't have to rely on someone else to do that for us. And
Yeah.
when you did that, of course, yeah, it's wonderful to provide your own security, but most women, they're in their mind trying to be two parts of a circle. You're trying to provide for your children, do things, raise them and all that, and now you're trying to also provide the security by yourself. uh you know all these things, and it's very overwhelming. And I think that's where a lot of this kind of transition took place. Now everyone's kind of trying to be, this man and woman at the same time. And even if you're not, biblically, I try to stay off it, but like if you were thinking that, we're supposed to be two parts, you can't do it by yourself. So regardless of how much you try, we all can fill a role for a short period of time, but we all crash. That's just in society itself. We all need each other to become something better. And I think also, because we're in America, just say what it is, we're always taught to be individualist. And most countries out here, everywhere else, everyone works as a group. Families work as a group. There's so much more group mentality, and those groups are successful. But we're trying to be individualists, and then we're failing, and we don't understand why.
Mm.
It doesn't make sense.
So let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all again. People that are married in real life are gonna understand this is what your finances can do. He makes more, you make more. Hey, babe, I got a new job. There's a new opportunity. He makes more. Oh, I got a new job. I got to do everything. She makes more. That is real life of equally yoked companions. That is real working companion. This is what it does. So, I really, caution women on this whole he has to make more than me.